So as I was sitting here trying to get everything organized and, you know, get the gumption up to push to get started, I noticed the camera wasn't recording. Now it is! We almost had a dang it, I got all the way through and didn't record a thing issue. Hey, Princess has come to say hello. Well, let's get started. Happy 2019, everybody. We made it another trip around the sun. Yay! I don't remember if I stayed up late or not. I might have. I may not have. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Let's start with what you are all really here for, and that is to find out who won my giveaway for a Snowman tin, the Lizzie Kate pattern, complete with buttons and things, because apparently I have 3 of them and I don't need 3 of them. So I took a little video footage of me doing this. I swear it was just like 5-10 minutes ago. So let's insert that here. Hey guys, are you ready to see who has won the copy of the Lizzie Kate's I Want to Stitch a Snowman thingy? I'll show this to you in better lighting because the backlighting is doing us absolutely no good. Anyway, here we are at the random comment generator chooser thingy. Here is my thing. Click the what's it? 92 commenters. Wow, that's a lot. Hit the button. Random, 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 random. Thank you for the Christmas shawls. Are beautiful. Knitting inspiration. Yay, Deanna Ellett. She would love to stitch the snowman. Congratulations, Adina. I will, Deanna. Oh my goodness, I cannot speak and I'm probably being really loud since the microphone's right in front of my face. So I will comment on your comment to let you know that you have won. Shoot me an email at kaysrandomworld@gmail.com and with your email and all that good information, and I can get this out to you. I don't know if I dare promise soon, but definitely by the end of the year. I think I can manage that, right? Right. So congratulations, Deanne. I have left a comment on your comment asking you to get in touch with me with your email address so I can send this out to you. No promises. Well, the only promise is it will be before the end of this year. Give myself a big enough window. And for all you guys to see, here is my version of it that I stitched. I stitched this on a 30 count Weeks Dye Works purple something or another. I forget exactly what color it is. I used the call for flosses and just I think it turned out really, really nice. One of the few things that I've actually gotten framed because, as you guys know, I finished nothing, and that's fine. And as you can see, I did not choose non-reflective glass. It looks like I chose extra reflective glass for all that sparkly pretty fun. So there you go. Congratulations, Deanne. So there is very, very little progress to report on the progress report front. The only thing that I have touched is Forgive, Move On, and Think Happy Thoughts, which is another Lizzie Kate. This is the 3 little words series, and this is the very last one that I have to do. I have stitched all the other ones except for Dream, Move On, Think Happy Thoughts. So here it is in all its very, very little split glory. And so what's new are those pink dots. Yeah, it's been a month since I've worked on it, and all I've put in are these 4 little pink flowery dotty things. Yep. Stitching has not caught my imagination lately. That's okay. We can all do different things at one time or another. So it'll go back to work and I'll work on it a little bit here and there as I think of it and decide what exactly I want to do. So I've made my annual pilgrimage down to Mesa, Arizona to visit my grandparents, and I must say at 90 and 92 they are doing very, very well. I know all of you are anxious to hear how my grandmother reacted to the nativity that I stitched for her, and I am very sorry to report that in all the hustle and bustle of getting everything gathered up and packed and ready to go, I left it hanging on the wall. Yeah, it's still here. Some of you asked in a Facebook group if I had presented it, and I gave that explanation that I'm very sorry, but I accidentally left it here. And one dear heart suggested that I hurry home, pick it up, and bring it back for New Year's. Well, it's a 10.5-hour drive, so that really was not going to happen. But eventually, when I get it to her, I'm sure she'll like that. Anyway, as I was in Arizona for the annual pilgrimage to see the grandparents, of course I had to go over to the attic, and I got in contact with Mckenna, and she said that she would be at the attic on Thursday, so of course I wandered over there and had a lovely time chatting with Mckenna and getting caught up. She was working on getting stuff all sent out for her attic sales, last chance attic sales that she does. It was nice to see her. She's always fun. It's always good to see Mckenna. Anyway, I did pick up a couple of things, one of which is these Fancy Pants corner gauges. These are fun. I don't often have to use one, but I think they make great souvenirs from the stitchy shops that you visit. And so I didn't have one from the attic yet, so I picked one up. And then it was after Christmas, but I was still feeling the holiday, stitch thing. So I picked up these Christmas dragon ornaments. See, there's a little dragonfly on it. This is a Just Nan. It's quite pretty. So there you go. Maybe I'll actually stitch an ornament. I buy enough stuff to stitch ornaments. I don't actually stitch the ornaments. And then I picked up the third of these little houses from Hands On Design. I think they're adorable. I love houses. I'm working on Santa's Village. Well, I'm not working on it, but I have it to work on, and I really should be working on it. But when you start to say should when it comes to a cross stitch, nothing's going to happen. And then this wonderful Madame Chantilly pattern called Black Cat hopped into my shopping bag because it just had to belong to my BFF. So I showed it to my BFF. She is thrilled and can't wait to get her hands on it. But how amazing is that? That witch riding on that giant black cat. Oh my goodness, it's so much fun. I just love it, and I knew she would love it too. So that is going over to my BFF. So those are the stitching acquisitions from the Arizona trip. Let's see, I guess while I'm doing stitchy, I'll show you the couple of things that I got for Christmas. Christmas in my family is not super overdone. We don't go crazy. We don't go all out. Mostly we spoil the nieces. So, you might get a token gift from a sibling. I give my sister a calendar. She gives me a calendar. We know exactly which calendar we're going to give the other. It's just, it's like when my dad's siblings got old enough, they started to send each other like a box of peanut brittle. So we're in the box of peanut brittle stage of sending of sibling gifts. Anyway, I had put this silk ribbon embroidery beginning guide in my Amazon wish list, and my mom saw that, and so she got that for me, and it looks really interesting. I know I picked it up because I had several, I had put it in my wish list because I had some Victoria sampler charts in my stash that had some silk ribbon embroidery in it, and so I had put this in my thing as kind of a tutorial to read over and go over, and it looks really quite fascinating. It might be something my sister is interested in, as she enrolled in one of those, community classes this semester, I guess, and she's taking an embroidery class. And then for quilting things, my mom, I had seen one of these on one of the Missouri Star Quilting Anyway, you know that group. They're all over the place. They have fabulous tutorials on YouTube. Anyway, they used one of these tailor's press to iron and then push this down and kind of press your seams open so it doesn't burn your little fingers. And since your iron's not on your fabric very long, you're less likely to scorch your fabric. I got the thing, I keep doing this, but it's way down low so you can't see that I'm flattening my seams in the air. But anyway, so my mom also got me this. So that's really delightful. And the last present I got for myself is a new tablet that I left in the other room because that's how smart I am, with a little bit of the Christmas money that Mom and Dad gave to me. So that is all the stitching. So I'm going to pause and reshuffle everything, and we'll be right back with oh, yarn. And I don't even really know where to start, you guys. Let's start with the finish. This is Misselthwaite by Romi Michelle Designs. You can find it on Ravelry, and I'll put a better description of it in the description box down below so you can go over and look it up on Ravelry. And last I showed this, I was so very close to the bind off. I was like 1 or 2 rows before bind off. As you can see, we have bound it off, we have blocked it. It looks fantastic. I really love the way this turned out. I love, 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 love the seed stitch texture up here that is the main body. The lace border was super simple. Okay. Well, it was simple as far as lace is concerned, at least I think, since it was my first lace project. So I assume there are harder laces out there. You know, you would think, right? Possibly. Zhuzh, the scarf, shawl, keep me warmer thinger. Anyway, there we go. It doesn't look as good as it does, but that's as good as it's going to get. Anyway, so as I was stitching along on that, I was thinking that I would end up doing many more repeats of this lace, but it turned out to not be the case. And so I had a moment of panic, and it was, well, do I buy something else to, you know, maybe do a repeat in another pattern? Because the way I had read the pattern is you do this this bit and this bit for a total of 3 times, so 6 lace repeats. And I read it, and then I figured out that I had read that from the fingering size and I was using the sport size, and so it was a little different. But while I was still thinking that I needed to do it in the sport weight and bemoaning the fact that I didn't buy 3 skeins of this, so I bought a beautiful sort of creamy, this is white peppercorn in the Yummy 3 ply by Miss Babs, because I'm a Miss Babs addict. So I thought maybe I could stripe some of that in on the end. Or then I thought I would try Sugar, which is a nice light pink. Also a Yummy 3 ply from Miss Babs. I really like this one as well, but as you can see, since I've gone ahead and finished the shawl, I decided to do neither of those things, and I just went ahead and finished the pattern as called for the small on the sport weight, and went ahead and bound it off. And it's beautiful, but I do wish I had bought another skein of the purple so I could have done another repeat of the lice, because it would be nice to be just a touch bigger. But it's a good size. All this, you know, when you're nitpicking something you've done that's perfectly fine and perfectly beautiful, but you're kind of going, maybe a little bit something better, nicer, whatever. So that's this purchase. Where am I going to put this? Where the cat's not going to fuzz all over it. Hold please. So with that yarn purchase of the 2 Yummy 2-ply skeins that I just showed you, I also purchased a 2 skeins of this wonderful, I can't remember if it's a bulky or a chunky. Let me look at this. It is a K2. K2 is the name of the size, and it is a chunky yarn. So this is also a Miss Babs. If I can get my tag back in the center there so I remember what it is. This is called Fountain Grass, And I love the red plummy purples that kind of go from, you know, nice dark plummy reddy purples up into the lighter shades. This was one of those cases where it came, it got wound, and it got cast on long before you guys even had a chance to see them, as they had arrived in their natural state. I've already been through almost one entire ball of this. I think there was only 6 grams left. By the time that I was ready, I needed to change over to this one. So what I have been working on for this is the Winter Brunch Shawl by Chau. Here she is. And this beautiful, oh, still can't decide which way the camera's going. You know how it is. Anyway, that beautiful, chunky, big ol' wonderful, I love it, shawl is what I have been working on quite a bit. It was the knit that I took with me to Arizona and worked on primarily. So let's see if we can get this organized somehow. I tell you what, guys, working on this is like having a huge blanket in your lap. Here you go. You can kind of see how it's knitting out up. And I just love it, love it, love it, love it. This is a triangular shaped shawl with a yarn over spine there in the middle that I'm showing to you. And I got all of the, what am I trying to say? I got all of the stockinette section done before I came home. Let's spread this out a little bit so you can kind of get a look at what I'm doing. I'm learning how to do cables! Yay! These are super simple cables where one is crossing front and the other is crossing back. So Mom showed me the other day how to do these simple small cables without a cable needle. Oh my goodness, I get talking too fast and forget what words are. Anyway, so Mom's teaching me how to do this without a cable needle. I'm loving it. I just go to town, knit, 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 knit until I die, right? So that has been a lot of fun. I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I'm looking forward to having it done, so even though it's like a huge, chunky, I love the texture of it. I think I'm very more textural when it comes to knitting. I like the textures that can be completed. How many times can we say texture in a few minutes? A lot. All right. So this is this wonderful project that I love. Anyway, a few more repeats. Hopefully I'll use up the rest of this ball of wonderfulness and get this done. Although, no real goals is when to get it done. But, you know, have I ever told you guys that I had a goal? There are no plans in this cross-stitch video. None. All right, let me put away and get the next thing. So the next item that I'm working on is this mountain cowl from Knitting Pure and Simple, and it is a free pattern, and it really is pure and simple and a super easy pattern, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I am using my big ball of Yowza. This is cultured pearl. And what's hilarious to me is I used to think that working with the Yowza was really fat in my hands since it's a DK weight, you know, slightly bigger than the, oh, come on, brain. Anyway, but since I've been working with the chunky weight, this seems so small and tiny in my hands if I go from that one to working on this one. Let's see, it is knit in the round. Let's see if we can stretch this out sufficiently for you to see what's going on. That kind of does it. There we go. I love how the yarns aren't exactly pooling, but they sort of gather together for a row or like 2 rows, and then it moves on. And I love how softly it's shaded between the cream and the pink, and there's a lighter gray and a darker gray. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I'm a row and a half. I'm kind of in the middle of a row right here from finishing up 4 pattern repeats. So 4 pattern repeats is the called for, no, 8 pattern repeats is the called for repeat to make the cowl. I'm trying to decide if I'm just going to go with 8, which should leave me enough Yowza to make another one, or to have, you know, it'll use up about half my ball. Or I could use it for, or just keep going until I have a big monster thing. The pattern called for worsted weight, and this is a DK or a light worsted. It used to be classified as light worsted, but now I see they're marketing it as a DK. So we will have to see. I was a little concerned, so instead of casting on the recommended number of cast-ons, I cast on 2, 3, like 4 more repeats, you know, of the pattern around. So we'll see how that goes. I might have made it too long and loosey-goosey in here than to really fit up around your neck and keep you nice and warm. So there is that. And I think, yep, that's everything that I have knit on since I talked to you last, which means it's time for Yarnquisitions. Let's start with the few yarns that I bought while I was visiting the grandparents in Arizona. I went over to Tempe Yarn and Fibre, which is over in Tempe, not very far from the university, as there were a lot of kids. No, there weren't a lot of kids in the store, but there were like a lot of college age kids around in the neighborhood. Anyway, so I picked up this beautiful variegated green-blue yarn from an Arizona dyer. This is Less Traveled Yarn is the dyer. Just Another Manic Mermaid is the yarn color. And it is a BFL, silk and cashmere. It is soft. It is decadent. It is wonderful. That is going to make a wonderful, wonderful shawl or cowl, or maybe a hat. I need to learn how. I want to make some fingerless mitts or gloves or something, because sometimes when I'm doing the wow, my wrist gets a little cold. So we shall see. It's beautiful and decadent, and probably should not be used for fingerless mitts. Next, I picked up this skein from Desert Bloom Yarns. Beautiful, beautiful, deep, deep purple with a little bit of the gold stellina sparkly bit in it. I don't even know what the color of this is. It says it's a one of a kind. That's alright. It's pretty. So this is merino, nylon, and stellina for the gold, and it's super pretty. I think it was the combination of the purple and the gold that just really called to me, and so it got to come home. And then this is really the colors. It was the colors. This is Manos del Uruguay. I know they are slightly larger producer. Doesn't tell me the color. Antigua. Antigua is the color. It is 75% wool, 25% pomade, which is like the nylon. I love the dark purples, the light purples. It's in the reddy purpley family. So that just, you know, called my name, had to bring it home. Is anybody here surprised that the purple yarn came home with me? No, nobody is surprised. So those were my yarn purchases from Tempe Yarn while I was visiting the grandparents in Arizona. All right, once again, we're going to pause, rearrange the stuff, and be back. Once a year, Miss Babs has what she refers to as the Gratitude Sale, and it is 20% off pretty much everything in the shop online. Nothing's dyed to order. It's what's already dyed and on hand. 20% off. It's a great bargain. It's pretty much the only sale she has through the year. It runs from midnight December 25th. So the very, very beginning of Christmas to the drop of the ball on December 31st. Princess has found the tissue paper and has arrived. Anyway, so me being me and being, you know, pretty crazy, because that's how we operate, I was ready to go. Midnight, Miss Babs' time, is 10 o'clock p.m. my time. I was armed and ready. I had my wish list all put together. I was ready to go. Throw stuff into the cart, buy that stuff, and be done with it. So, how crazy did I go? pretty damn crazy, you guys. My first purchase is Best Tiara. These are all going to be, this first set is all going to be the Yummy 2-ply. And so this is a gorgeous soft gradient between a soft pink and a nice light gray. The colors were a little bit brighter on her website, but as you know, it's kind of hard to choose and see colors when you're looking online. But these are really beautiful. I can picture just, you know, a lovely shawl in this. Maybe I will make my fingerless gloves out of these since it's more of a sock thing. So it's got the merino. It's 100% superwash merino wool, not socks. Depends upon how hard you are in your socks. Anyway, I got 2 of those, and they're beautiful, and I love them. They make me happy. Then I picked up 2 of this Somersault is the name of the colorway, and it is more in the reddy purples and the plum purples. It goes from a very, very dark plummy purple into there's little hints of pink on the lighter spots. 2 skeins. It's just beautiful, gorgeous, love it, super soft. I think it's my favorite. Cat, you're not supposed to be in the box with the yarn. Move. Thank you. And then the last Yummy 2-ply I picked up is Gazebo Waltz. There was only one of it left. I figured I'd take a gamble on it. It turned out that it's a blue lavender, blue purple. It's a little more blue than I thought it was, but still, it's really pretty. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. I'm sure I have something I can match it up with if I want to go big, or it can just be a single one project thinger. I picked up this wonderful, gorgeous green skein of Greek Isles. This is Yummy 3-ply. It is the sport weight and not the fingering. It's absolutely delicious. At first, when I first made my purchase, I thought it was a Yummy 2-ply, so I only wanted 1 skein of it, but as soon as I realized it was the 3-ply, I went back to pick up another skein because I like 2 of my Yummy 3-plies, and all the rest had been purchased. So I've got one of these. But hey, maybe I can mix it with one of the sugar or the white peppercorn that I bought to go with this that ended up not being used. So beautiful. Love it. And then since I also love the Yowza for some reason, I picked up, let's see, Some Kind of Wonderful. And this is a mostly blue yarn with hints of turquoise and purple all throughout. I love it. How many times can I say I love it? A lot, apparently. A lot. Quite a few. It's just beautiful and rich, and another shawl, another cowl, maybe a hat. Oh, a hat would be fun. Can I do a hat and some mitts and have a matching set for raid night so I can be warm, because my raid computer is kind of in a cold spot in the house. It's by the French doors, and those doors are leaky. Anyway, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then my last purchase is the Yowza mini trio set. Casa Pinka designed a cowl called No Harm, No Cowl. Puns are delightful. That uses 3 mini skeins of the Yowza. So I picked this up in the 3 different shades of purple. Love it, because what else am I going to say other than I love it. I might mix in some of the Coachal Pearl, like take the middle one out or the light one out, or, you know, arrange the colors a little bit and put the cultured pearl in it so that there's a little bit louder contrast. I purchased this, you know, with the intention of knowing that I have several other bits of Yowza that are left over, so I might swap them around a little bit, because I don't think there's quite enough contrast here to really do the cowl justice, but I think it will still be beautiful. So there is that. So that was the first purchase from the thank you set. And that was just right at the crack of midnight Tennessee time, so I could get exactly what I wanted. And then I just kind of watched and waited and thought, well, you know, maybe I'll see what's left over, you know, when it comes down to the 31st, and if there's anything that I want, maybe I'll, you know, pick it up. And meanwhile, Self had a brilliant idea. Self said, Self, all of the notions are on sale as well. And Self said, oh, That's a wonderful idea. We need some random notions. I mean, not super things. So, I 20% off as well on my second Miss Babs Gratitude Sale order. I picked up a set of Haya cable needles in various sizes. There you go. The glare's not too bad that way. So I picked up a set of those. I got me a set of point protectors, mostly to ensure that when I'm traveling, I don't lose my stitches, especially for the one that's in the round. And my fat one. The fat one's, the bulky yarn one is getting quite bulky, and I'm afraid that I need a longer cable, but I've used the longest cable I have, so not really sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I have to finish it fast. But finishing it fast is not going to solve the problem. Not having quite enough cable. And then I picked up two sets of the Haya stitch marker balls. I was thinking about, you know, my giant bulky sweater. Not sweater. The bulky yarn and the fat needles that I'm using for that. And these would definitely fit around the needles very, very well. So that should help me keep track of where the center stitch is. And then I noticed that there was an enamel pin in the thing, in the notions, and it says Yowza. So I had to get it because Yowza. Right? Why not? If you're going to be crazy, you may as well just go full force. So then I decided to wander through the yarns and see what was left. There was this color is Love Triangle? Yes, Love Triangle. So this is on her tart base, which is 75% superwash, 15% nylon, 10% tencel, so it's, you know, more of a strong one. And it is a lovely combination of dark grays, light grays, purples, and pinks. On my monitor that I was looking at, the pinks and the purples looked much brighter. They're a little more grayed than what I've expected, but they're very beautiful. And so I had those on my wish list for quite a while. My favorite base, it sold out of white right quick, so I thought the tart would be good. So I got two of those to match up and be friends and be something. Probably a shawl because I love doing the shawls. This keeps me so warm in the winter. Just keeps the draft off my neck, and I really, really love it. You may not need a different cowl for every day of the month, but that's what I am slowly rolling towards. So those, absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. And then as I was just sort of trolling through the site, I picked up a couple of skeins of one-offs. So this dark purple, beautiful, majestic mountain was left all alone. I couldn't bear to see that it was left all alone. So I bought it. It can come here and live with me and be happy with all of its yarn buddies. And then this skein of bird chatter, beautiful light pinks, dark pinks. It has little flecks of blue here and there, little spotting. It's beautiful. I like it a lot. So I said, you can come home and live with me. And then this beautiful dreamer is a colorway that she dyes repeatedly. So it's not one of her one-off colors. You can see it says it's a Babette. That means it's a standard color. And I decided to give a try on that. And the purples are a little bit more magenta and more brown than I thought they would be, but it's not terribly ugly. I'm sure I can make something beautiful with this. I'm pretty sure I have something that's like this color of blue or in the same blue family, and then it bleeds to white. So it's like a blue and a white, so I could pair that with that and make something absolutely fantastic. So there's that. So those are all my yarnquisitions, and it's a lot of yarn. And I think I'm going to have to, yeah, that's a real sentence, Caroline from Off the Grid Needlearts and Adrian, and do a yarn sabbatical. I just need to pause. Let's put a pause on this As my mother says, it's easy to buy the yarn, and you know, you buy it faster than you can knit it, which is very true because, as you all know, my slogan for cross stitch is buy the pattern, buy the dream. Buy the yarn, buy the dream. It's fantastic. So that is everything for Yarnquisitions. News, notes, and nonsense. So a couple of the people I talked to on ARD, which is one of the communities that I belong to for World of Warcraft, up there, I'm going the wrong way, ping, right there. They have started a new podcast talking about how to better roleplay your characters in Dungeons and Dragons. They're doing a fantastic job of it. So I know there's a lot of crossover between Stitchers, Knitters, and World of Warcraft and Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop role-playing games. So you guys, down in the description box, I've left a link for Roll Initiative. So go check out Curtis and Valerie and see what they're doing, talking all about how to better roleplay your characters, how to better build your characters, and have a lot of fun when it's D&D night. So they're funny. I really have enjoyed every single video that they have put out so far. What else have we had going on? I know. Let's check it off the set list. Checkity check. The other day when I came out of work, so this was just Friday. When I came out of work, my key fob wouldn't open the doors to my car. And I'm like, oh, I know how this works. So I put the key in the lock and turned it. And I think that is the first time that I have ever put the key in the lock and turned it in the 11 years that I have owned the car. Opened the car door, and what does the car do? It goes lights flashing and honking. Honk, 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 help me, I'm being stolen, help, help, honk, honk, honk. Oh, come on, car, we've been together for 11 years. I've got the key, stop panicking. So after about 30 seconds or so, it does quit, and so I put the key in the ignition, turn it over, and we're back to the honking and the lights flashing and the help, help, I'm being stolen. And I couldn't deal with it. So I turned the car back off, it's honking, flashing its lights, I'm being stolen, ah! Closed the door, and I went back into the office. And I called my sister and I said, come get me. My car is being crazy, come get me. Luckily, she and Mom and Dad, they only live like 3 miles from work, so it's like 10 minutes wait, and I could go inside and be all warm and stuff. So she came and picked you up, and we went back to Mom and Dad's house, did a little research on YouTube, figured out how to open up my key fob, what battery we needed to replace it, and so after dinner, off my sister and I went looking for the prized CR1616 so I could fix my fob and be on my merry way without the car telling the world that it thinks it's being stolen. Seriously, car, we've been together for 11 years. It's just me. I have the key. Stop honking. Anyway, so we went out and about and checked here and checked there, and they didn't have it. So we went over to the specialized battery store, Batteries Plus, which is really expensive. Didn't want to have to buy my batteries there. So we got there at 8:15 and they had closed at 8 a.m. Oh well. So my sister took me home and said she'd be by in the morning to pick me up. And so sure enough, Saturday morning she came by, picked me up. We went back to Batteries Plus, got the CR1616s, replaced the battery in my key fob, went back to work, and sure enough, opened the door with the fob, pushed the button, it worked first time, opened the door, car didn't think it was being stolen, got in, drove away. It is what it is, right? Right. Stupid car. We've been having serious drama here at the HOA board thing. I really haven't talked about it. The woman who is now the HOA president has fired the company that was previously hired to collect the money and pay the invoices and the bills, except we're still under contract with them until like August 31st of 2020, and so she's trying to set it up for a self-management position, which I feel really strongly about, because the last time I was in a condo association that was self-managed, the people managing embezzled all the funds out of the deferred appreciation account and got away with it. I'm still not really sure how they managed to get away with it, but at that complex, my HOA, my monthly amount went up by $100 a month, plus there was an additional $100 a month for an annual assessment. And for the rest of the time that I lived there, that annual assessment never dropped off. So I'm really kind of worried, panicky, that something terrible is going to happen, because we're back to self-management. I have no real guarantee of what the money is supposed to be, spent on. It's going to be spent on what it says it's going to be spent on. And it has sucked the joy and the happiness out of living here for me, because of the stress over what's going on with this whole big situation, and I don't like it, and I'm not terribly confrontational, so I can't, I don't want to have to tell the woman this is not a good idea. So I don't know, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we've contracted with this company, so I still need to be paying this company that the contract is with. In the meantime, she's knocking on my door saying, you haven't paid your dues for January. And I'm like, I paid the company that was contracted. She says, well, we're self-managed now. You should pay me. And I'm like, I don't want to pay you at all. Anyway, that's sort of the backstory of what's been going on. And it makes me sad, because I love my house. I love the rooms. I love the space. I love the light. I love the kitchen and the dining room. And I love this house. There's nothing about this house that I hate. The things that I hate are weird, like the washer and dryer is old and I should replace them, but that's not the house. That's, something different. Anyway, so she's not the best at contract negotiations, and she swore up and down that she was going to negotiate the best contract with the snow removal people, but apparently she didn't really specify what she wanted to be done included in this contract, and they'll come out if there's 2 inches or more of snow and plow the parking lot and shovel the walks. If there's less than an inch or less than 2 inches, we're on our own. It rarely ever snows 2 inches at a go. I mean, just the other day it snowed an inch, and of course she's too concerned about all this stuff. Even though you're the HOA president now, you are responsible to get out there and shovel. If you can't hire the right people to do it, you need to be doing it yourself. Anyway, so she decided to get rock salt for us to scatter on the sidewalks and on the stairs and stuff to help keep the community safe, keep the ice to a minimum, yada, yada, yada. Guess what she bought, guys? It wasn't ice melt. No, 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 no. She bought salt pellets that go in water softeners. Let that sink in. Yeah. I'm not happy. I am really not at all happy about this. So, I've gone to Walmart. I've got my very own little tiny bucket of ice melt. I keep it in the car, or, I keep a little Tupperware with me. So if I'm going down the stairs and those stairs get covered with ice, and I call them the death stairs, I mean, they may as well be frozen Niagara Falls for how much water comes out of the gutter and onto the stairs and freezes them, with my little tiny bottle of rock salt, and shake it down as I go down the death stairs and shake it on as I come up the death stairs. Yeah, I don't see anything has improved since she took over. If I had known she was going to be like this, I wouldn't have voted for her. I mean, I thought the management company was doing an okay job. It was benign neglect, and I tell you what, guys, I would take that benign neglect over what we got now. So, there's that. Okay. Here's what I spent the rest of my Christmas money on. It's just a tablet. I have not been doing a whole heck of a lot of stitching or knitting or stuff because of this little app right down there, Happy Color. See that? All those wonderful things. All those wonderful things that you can color. Oops, we're going to drop the app. I don't know. Is there a simple one? Probably not. Let's go here. I haven't finished the horse yet, guys. So I will stay up all hours of the night on my stupid app. Just sort of coloring the dumb things. That Shiba Inu and the glasses and the hat was hilarious. That one was a super simple one. I'm kind of going from the back forward of just, you know, whatever. This is what's been getting all of my time. It's not even as amazing as diamond painting, where at least when you're finished with the diamond painting, you have an actual product to show the world of what you've done. No. I just have this thing, that a color. And I pushed the wrong button. Go away. Go away. There it goes. This is what it does. It animates and showed you how you colored it. And I'm addicted to watching that thing go. It's my favorite app. It is the biggest time waster on this face of this planet, other than Facebook or Instagram or what have you, and has completely drained my productivity. Yeah. I love it. So much. So there you go. That's what I've been spending my time doing. How about you? So that's everything, guys. I hope you get plenty of time to stitch all the things that you are looking forward to stitch, and get plenty of time to knit all those wonderful things that you have ready to knit, that your little fingers are itching to get on the yarn, on the needles, on whatever. I hope that frog stays far, far, far away from you. Thanks for everybody who subscribes. Thanks for all you guys who comment and the likes and the big love. We are really, really close to officially hitting 4,000 subscribers, and that is a big deal. I promise a giveaway, but I'm terrible at following through with my promises, so I'm not promising anything when we hit 4,000. But subscribe, like, comment. I love you guys. Hugs and stitches. Bye. Well, here we go with the bulletin board right before I disassemble it. Here's all the bright and bold and wonderful things that I had put together for December. And here comes Princess. She can hear me talking to somebody, so she has to come and inspect. Really? You don't say. Yeah? Uh-huh. Anyway, so here's my bulletin board from December. It's time to disassemble and put together January.